Hey friends, how's it going? I know it's been a while since I've made a video. Life has just been busy, and you know how that goes. And I figured this morning while I'm out for a little walk, I'd give a little update and just chat with you guys a little bit. So I am about 10 and a half months post-op at this point. Had my surgery on July 16th, 2020. So we're closing in on a full year, which is really, really hard for me to fathom. That it's gone by insanely fast, sometimes slow, but mostly very fast, which is crazy. But we'll just start with the stats again, like we usually do. So my high weight 2 weeks before surgery was 310.5 pounds. My surgery weight was 300 pounds. And my weight today is 203. So since surgery, I've lost 97 pounds. And since that 2 week prior mark, my high weight, 107 pounds. And that's pretty darn good in my book. Currently, when I had my body fat measured, it was at 20% at the hospital. And I consider myself in maintenance mode at this point. I'm not actively trying to lose weight. I still am inching downward little by little. I actually fluctuate up and down about 3 pounds. So I'll go between 203 and 206 sort of on a daily basis, up and down, up and down. So that's kind of where I'm at now, and very satisfied with everything. Part of me would obviously like to see the Wonderland deal, but in all honesty, it has not been a focus of mine at all. And I actually think there's dangers in trying to achieve a weight loss goal that may not be realistic for your body. I see people really trying to, I gotta lose that last 10 pounds, I gotta lose that last 20 pounds. In some ways almost discounting the 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 or more pounds that they've already lost as not being successful unless they get to that goal weight. And they start doing things like ratcheting up extreme cardio, restricting their calories even more, trying a diet, going keto or Whole30 or something that they normally don't do. And if you think about it, a lot of us, what did we do before we decided on weight loss surgery? Not 100% of us, but a majority of us, right? We did paleo, we did keto, we did Weight Watchers, we did this, we did that. We did intense cardio, we did these things, and we went down, and we went up, and we went down. So what the problem is that pattern, you're setting yourself up to repeat that pattern. And if you're trying to push your body beyond the limits of what it thinks its fat should be, your relative body fat content, your body's going to defend against that fat loss. And you're going to get hungrier. And your metabolism's going to slow down. And you're going to be driven to eat more and eat crappy foods. And you're going to get resistance to leptin again. And you're going to get into that same yo-yo cycle you were before. I do not want to do that. So my entire focus is sustainable food, a sustainable diet, something that I can do long term for the rest of my life that's going to maintain what I've lost And maybe I'll lose a little bit more. But I sure as hell don't want to regain. Just cannot regain. I have achieved too much to let myself go back into old habits again. So my focus since surgery has been about building a new relationship with food, finding the foods that work right for me. And I'm not discounting any diet with a name out there. Whether that's keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, ovo-vegetarian, pescatarian, Mediterranean, anything that anyone wants to put a name on a diet. Each of those diets works for someone, but they don't work for everyone. There is no one diet to rule them all. This is not Sauron and the One Ring, right? And you've got zealots in each camp that say that keto is the only way. Here's all the reasons. Or vegetarian, it's the only way. Here are all the reasons. Or whatever. And they're wrong. There is no one diet that fits every person's biology. But I can tell you one thing that is common, or I should say across the board: processed foods and sugar is what's killing this country, what's killed our healthcare. It's so bad. Processed food, artificial sweeteners, sugar, chemicals, those kind of things. We have got to get away from that to real food. So much research out there right now on the effects of the microbiome on our mind, our body, our metabolism. I mean, just so many things. We've got to feed that. And it feeds on real whole foods. And it dies with processed foods and foods devoid of fiber and nutrition. I'm not doing that. That doesn't mean you have to subscribe to one particular diet, but it does mean a variety of plants. And no matter which of those diets you choose, you can eat plants, a variety of plants. You don't have to be vegetarian to have a variety of plants on your plate. They don't have to be mass quantities. It doesn't have to be the only thing that you eat. Okay? Hormones rule the world. Insulin drives fat storage. It's not the glucose per se that's doing this, because insulin spikes vary from person to person and actually what causes it. And different foods cause insulin spikes in different people, which is why it's so important to find the food that works right for you. But insulin is one of the root causes. And then when we're eating processed foods, and that includes, I'm sorry to say, but that includes a lot of the protein bars out there, if not all of them. That includes all of the artificial sweeteners that your gut does not know how to process. And some studies are starting to show that they're actually harmful to the gut microbiome. Not cool. So when we start feeding or eating those foods that don't align with our microbiome, it starts affecting signals. When our hormonal signals are blocked, it starts leading to leptin resistance, and you're not getting your hunger signals like you're supposed to. You start turning to addictive behaviors. This can still happen after surgery. You know, the effects of the surgery allow us to drop fat without our body fighting against it. It's temporary, folks. It's not permanent. And that restriction that you have from your pouch or your sleeve, you know, that's sticking around, but it's not the restriction that causes the weight loss. It's the hormones. It's the side effects that the surgery has on your hormones. It allows you to lose the fat. And if you are not concentrating on what your diet's going to be when you reach your low weight, you're going to be in a hurt. You're going to be in trouble. And that's why I think it's vitally important that the focus is not exercise. Exercise is great. Walking is great. Strength training, highly recommended. Extreme cardio, not particularly recommended until you're ready to maintain, then ratchet it up. But during that weight loss phase, walking, movement, but strength training, vitally important. Most of our calories are burnt at rest. Our basal metabolism, our resting metabolism, stimulating muscle growth, because you do lose muscle during the weight loss phase. Want to stimulate muscle and keep as much muscle as possible so that we're keeping as much of our basal and resting metabolism as possible. That's where most of our calories are burnt, not through a bunch of exercise. Exercise actually leads many people into stalls. You go through social media and you'll find people with posts like, I'm working out on the spinner, 5 days a week for 45 minutes or an hour, and I've been stalled for 6 weeks. Or something to that effect. It's because your body's fighting back. Your body sees that, especially when you're very low calorie, your body's going to protect those stores if you attack it with intense cardio. Caveat, every person is a little bit different. Some people are going to do just fine with cardio. Some people aren't. You've got to find out what works best for you. But keep that in mind, that a lot of people will stall if they do intense cardio while they're still eating very low calorie. That's important to know. Anyway, I went on kind of a soapbox today, I guess. Most of this time is just really for me to remind myself what my goals are, what my intent is, what I plan to do, and maybe share with you just things to think about. I'm not telling you what to do. You find your own path. You find out what works best for you. But think about these things. Think about what's going to sustain you for the rest of your life. That's what's important. Don't do anything that's just temporary and then wonder what you're going to do when you reach that weight, because that's ripe for going off track and making bad choices. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully it won't be quite as long till the next video. But until then, take care.